Why did the goose cross the road in Hong Kong? To get on the Michelin guide. I'm sorry, I thought it was funny. Anyway, you cannot say you went to Hong Kong if you did not try roasted goose. And apparently there is one restaurant and one restaurant only where you need to try this in Hong Kong. And that, my friends, is Yat Lok.
Huh?
Yat Lok.
Yat Lok?
Yes, restaurant.
Yat Lok.
Yes.
Central.
Yes, please. But before we get there, I'm sure you're a little bit confused. Let's go back to the hotel and I'll explain everything. Good morning, or should I say good afternoon, because it's 1:30 p.m. and I have never been so jet lagged in my entire life. I flew from London to Shanghai, which took 11 hours. And then I stayed in Shanghai for 12 hours. And then I took another flight to Hong Kong, which took 5 hours. So yeah, you could say I was tired.
Is that nice?
Now, tired and hungry is not a good combination, so I packed my bag and I was ready to go and eat some roasted goose. I left my hotel. This was the Rosedale Hotel in Causeway Bay, and I really recommend. So, why am I going to eat roasted goose? Because that is the thing that you have to do in Hong Kong. Literally every blog I read said you must go and eat roasted goose. I had no clue what a goose tasted like. Hello! Now, the only difficult thing for me was choosing which roasted goose I was going to try. When I Googled it, there were so many differing opinions. Oh, Yat Lok is the best. No, Cam's roast goose is the best. No, it's not. Young Key is the best. I was overwhelmed. In the end, I heard the most positive things about Yat Lok, so that's the one I decided to choose. And very handy that it was the closest to my hotel. Amazing. Thank you.
Wait.
Okay.
You need to pay 60 on 100.
Okay. I thought the app takes it. That's okay. It's taking its 1 second.
Huh?
1 second.
Okay, you have paid it.
Oh, I can pay?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. This was an insane culture shock to me, because do you think in the UK the taxi driver would drive off and just trust that you're going to pay him later on the app? Impossible. But anyway, here we are at Yat Lok. There was only a small queue and they don't take reservations anyway. Side note, one thing I don't like about Hong Kong, there's always random liquid dropping from the building. Is it rain? Is it pee? Who knows? Obviously, it was expected that there were going to be many people in this restaurant, but it was super packed. But the best thing about being a solo traveler is that you get a seat very easily.
One people.
Yes.
One people here.
I love that he said one people. This was the menu. I cannot tell you how glad I was that they had the English written underneath. So everyone says that here you need to get the hajong, which is the lower quarter. So this is fattier, darker meat of the leg and the thigh. If you want leaner breast meat, you can get the upper quarter, which is xiongzhong. I also saw the people next to me order some barbecue roast pork, and it looked really good. So I decided to get it as well. Thank you. I had already heard that the customer service in Hong Kong is not amazing, but the food makes up for it. But I just was not expecting him to slam down my rice like that. But honestly, I was so hungry, I couldn't care less. I only brought card to pay for this meal, and the people next to me asked, oh, can I pay with card? And I thought she said yes. Did she say yes?
No, she didn't. She said no.
Only cash? Oh, okay. I was getting ready to send this roast goose back, because if I didn't have Octopus, I'd be in big trouble. Octopus is basically an app/card that you can use to pay for the train, for things in the shop. Like, it's very useful. So my roast goose came, and it was a very big portion. They also brought my barbecue roast pork, and this is the moment that I realized that this is way too much food for one person. But I was going to try my absolute best. Obviously, the camera eats first. Make sure to check out my food page at Munchie with Mel. And then a huge error on my part. I promised myself that I would learn how to use chopsticks before I visited Hong Kong. Did I do it? No. And now look at me, begging for a knife and fork.
I'll send it in a fork.
Only chopsticks. Okay. Thank you. I'll take it, thank you. I know they were thinking stupid Westerners, and they are 100% right. Now, first time trying my roasted goose, and my first impression was that it was really nice. Really flavorful, tasted like really smoky. If I had to compare it to something else, I would say it tasted a lot like duck, but much fattier, which I actually enjoyed. But the more I was chewing, the more I was like, what is that? And lo and behold, it was bones. I wasn't really expecting this, especially because in a leg, you're expecting just like one bone, one big bone. But no, there were multiple bones in this goose. It did make it quite difficult to eat because there's no knife and fork and everyone else is using chopsticks, meaning that you're putting the whole thing in your mouth. So when you do encounter bones, you just have to dig it out of your mouth, which isn't fun. The skin was not very soft, like you couldn't just bite it in half. So as you can see, I had to eat the whole thing in one go. But yeah, that was fine. It was still delicious. Now onto the barbecue pork. It was very similar to char siu style, which is one of my favorites. So yeah, I actually really enjoyed this. It's obviously a very safe option because I feel like everybody knows what barbecue pork tastes like, but it was still amazing.
Great time eating, okay?
Thank you so much. Enjoy your trip. My friends left. They were from the Philippines and they were so lovely. I was still eating, so I decided to add some chili oil, which they have available on the table. Just eating the rice and the meat together does get a bit boring, so adding the chili oil definitely adds a je ne sais quoi. It was really good. I find it very interesting the way they just clean around you. Thank you. I'm not mad at it. It was just definitely very different to what I'm used to. Now, I'm someone that's very good with spice, but this chili oil was definitely very different to the chili oil I buy in the UK. Was it unbearable? No, but it definitely had a kick to it. Overall, I really did enjoy this meal, but I think I just ordered way too much because the oil started to sit in my stomach and it just was not a nice feeling. This was the damage. I actually didn't end up finishing all of the goose, but I think I did a pretty good job. Overall, I would rate this meal a 7. I'm minusing a point for the bones, and I'm also minusing 2 points for the price. The roast goose, barbecue pork, and 2 rices cost me 42 GBP, which I think is really dear. This is a 1 Michelin star spot, so I guess it's worth it. If you do visit Yat Lok, please remember to bring your own tissue because they will charge you for tissues. Crazy, I know.